of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
States. In news from the East, Edward Everett delivers a principal speech dedicating the new National Cemetery at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Francis Bacon reports.
Also speaking at the ceremony was President Lincoln. Being a rebirth of freedom, the President concentrated his speech on reunification, realizing it is as natural to die as to be born. The President took maximum advantage of the small crowd of mostly war widows, war orphans, and mothers of those who died in the battle of June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of this year.
87 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We've come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
We apologize for the technical difficulties. The President's speech was unusually short. Be sure to listen to the Union Broadcasting special, Dedication of a Cemetery, later tonight over many of these same stations. This is Francis Bacon, Union Broadcasting, Gettysburg.
The forecast for today, the South can look forward to more of the same. A front appears to be moving from the west coast to the northeast. Many persons were forced from their homes today in Chicago, and tonight should bring more of the same. Also in New York and Boston. The long-range forecast calling for another long, hot summer. Persons traveling in Southern California tonight are advised to carry chains. On other news of today, we see that more than... We gratefully acknowledge the assistance of the United States Army, without whose help this war would not have been possible. No portion of this war may be refought without the express written permission of the Honorable Edwin Stanton, Secretary of War. And that's the way it is. Thank you for listening. Recorded from an earlier broadcast.